Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a couple in our state is accused of abusing two young children. Find out about the terrible conditions investigators say the kids had to live in.
Also, a federal judge ends a 50-year-old consent decree for Hartford's police department. Why some say they're worried about the lack of diversity in the city's police officers.
And we do have a warning tonight in one Connecticut town about criminals targeting your mailbox. Find out what to be careful of to avoid being victim of check washing.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
First on Fox 61, two adults in Southington are under arrest tonight after they're accused of child abuse towards a pair of young children. Good evening, I'm Samaya Hernandez.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here at 10 tonight. Investigators say those kids lived in disgusting conditions. The Department of Families and Children and Families had been called to their home several different times. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joining us live in Southington tonight with the details on this case. Jake.
Well, Ben and Samaya, this 7-page affidavit alleges that the two kids living at a home in Southington were malnourished and living in awful conditions. A warning, the details in this report are disturbing. Police say it all started last June when a call was made into the state's care line on reports that two children were being physically abused and neglected at the Southington home of Brian Bushnell and Cassie Marie Castro. 3 days later, an investigator with the Department of Children and Families arrived at the home for an unannounced visit. According to court documents, the investigator described the home as cluttered and full of garbage with a strong urine odor and noted there was feces on the wall of the children's bedroom. The investigator allowed the couple to clean the home and, according to the report, saw no signs of physical abuse, so nothing more was done. DCF made a second visit a month later after a complaint by an extended family member. The investigator reported the children's room was locked from the outside and the children were malnourished and had unexplained bruising. The victims told investigators they were ignored when they told the couple they were hungry and were forced to soil themselves when they had to use the bathroom. The kids were brought to stay with extended family for a few months, and officials say their conditions improved. The Department of Children and Family released a statement saying in part, "This opportunity serves as a reminder that our youngest children are the most vulnerable when exposed to adverse circumstances. It takes the collective efforts of those throughout our community, professionals, neighbors, and especially family members, to protect children." And the couple was arrested and charged in February. They're now expected to be back in court in June. Coming up at 11, we'll talk about some of the signs that experts say to look out for if you suspect abuse. Live in Southington, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Jake. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. And Rachel, it's a little chilly out there. It feels like fall.
Hey, Rach.
Yeah, we've gotten back to the season after a trip into early summer last week. But I think we're going to get back there later this week. So we are going to get back to that little sneak peek. Temperatures today climbed into the mid-50s, close to the average high for this time of year of around 60 degrees, even below that number. But it is going to get much cooler tonight. Temperatures are in the 40s to near 50. We're anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees cooler than it was at this time yesterday. And look at these low temperatures tonight, sinking back into the mid-30s to right around 40 degrees as we head towards daybreak. And there could be areas of patchy frost for some away from the Connecticut shoreline. So a much cooler start to the day tomorrow. And then the temperatures rebound very similar to today with highs between 55 to right around 60. While the wind has diminished tonight, I do think it picks back up again tomorrow. So it is a breezy day. Temperatures near average, and we'll see a mix of sun and clouds, although overall I think it is brighter than today was. And then the temperatures start to climb beginning on Thursday, and then wait until you see the numbers on Friday. Here we go again. Full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. And we're following breaking news in New York City, where one person is dead after a parking garage collapsed.
It's a big story we're following tonight. 5 other people were injured in that collapse. All of this happening in the financial district of Lower Manhattan. Fox 61's Brent Harden joining us in the Breaking News Center with the new details we're learning tonight. Brent.
Yeah, Ben and Samaya, New York City officials say concrete floors from that parking garage fell on top of each other like a stack of pancakes. The collapse happened at around 4 this afternoon, just a few blocks from City Hall and the Brooklyn Bridge. Some cell phone video we have shows the aftermath of the collapse. The man who was killed was an employee at the garage. Another worker was rescued after being trapped on an upper floor. And while everyone is believed to be out of the garage tonight, rescue crews are still searching to make sure no one was in any of the crushed cars. Mayor Eric Adams says rescuers were also able to use new tools because the building is considered unsafe.
We were also able to use the technology of a drone to give a real visualization of what is happening in this building. At this time, this building is completely unstable, and the chief, we do not want to send in someone until we can make sure the building is shored up.
NYPD also used a robotic dog during the rescue operation. 4 of the people injured were taken to a hospital. The other refused medical treatment. That garage is also near Pace University, and the college evacuated a neighboring dorm and classroom building. Pace also canceled evening classes to assess the safety of its buildings. We'll continue to bring you updates as soon as we learn more. Here in the Breaking News Center, Brent Harden, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station. Ben, Samaya, back to you.
Brent, thank you. We are also following breaking news in New Haven tonight, where police are investigating a shooting in the Fairhaven section of the Elm City. Officers say it happened on Exchange Street just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Investigators found a man was standing at a stove when he was hit by a gunshot. He was taken to the hospital to be treated and released. A bullet hole was found on the outside of the man's home. Anyone with information should call New Haven police.
And we're also following developing news in Hartford, where police are investigating a shooting in the north end of the city. Officers say just about 5 o'clock this afternoon, a man in his 40s showed up at St. Francis Hospital with a gunshot wound. He's expected to survive. Investigators determined that the shooting happened on Sigourney Street. Anyone with information should call Hartford police. And now at 10, a Fox 61 follow-up as a federal judge in Bridgeport ends a 50-year-old consent decree for the Hartford Police Department.
That agreement created federal oversight and demanded that the city's police department hire more non-white officers. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joining us live outside the Hartford Police Department tonight to tell us why some are concerned about the end of this consent decree. DeAndrea.
Well, Ben and Samaya, just last month, the city council voted to continue this decree. But now that it's been shut down, some people are saying that this is bad, while others are saying that this is good for the city.
On the heels of the Hartford City Council's recent vote in support of extending a 1973 consent decree until the police department fully complies with it, U.S. District Judge Carrie A. Dooley approved the city's request to end it instead. Now, the consent decree was one of the longest ones in the country. It stems from a 1969 civil rights lawsuit against the city police by many Hartford residents citing racial discrimination and unjust policing.
We are extremely disappointed with that decision, and we recognize the fact that there was much work and effort within the plaintiff committee to move forward with this.
While city council leaders and community advocates like the Greater Hartford NAACP disagree with the decree ending, the Hartford Police Union president says otherwise.
I think the overall consensus is that it's a good thing for the city.
The police union president doesn't believe the hiring of diverse officers will be impacted.
The police department has done a great job in trying to continue diversity. And I look at the consent decree, and what the city of Hartford needs is a police force that cares, and no matter what color they come in.
Hartford's Mayor Luke Bronin released a statement saying, in part, the end of the Citron consent decree will not diminish in any way our commitment to recruiting the most diverse classes we can and constantly working to build a relationship of trust and partnership between the Hartford Police Department and the Hartford community. City council members saying the work to diversify the department needs to continue.
Giving credit to the city and the police department for making strides in recruiting to make sure that the police department is a true reflection of the community, but we do recognize the fact that the work has to continue.
And now coming up tomorrow at noon, the state NAACP and the greater Hartford area NAACP, they are holding a press conference to talk about this topic. For now in Hartford, Deandrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Deandrea, thank you. New at 10 tonight, a Seymour man is dead tonight after crashing into a tree. Seymour police say that it happened on Maple Street just before 10:30 last night. Investigators say that 24-year-old Joshua Rivera was driving northbound when he started skidding while going around a curve. He lost control and hit the tree. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. State police are now investigating.
An update to a story we first brought you last night at 10 as a volunteer firefighter injured in Monroe is out of the hospital and recovering at home tonight. Jack Sheehan won Monroe's Firefighter of the Year award last year. He was helping battle a house fire coming from the attic of a home on Old Zor Road Saturday night. Now, Sheehan was taken to the hospital after he was hurt while firefighters tried to put out that fire. No word yet on what caused the fire. All residents are in temporary housing.
Also new at 10 tonight, an alert from Suffield police who are warning residents about burglaries and damage to parked cars in the part of the northern Connecticut city. Officers say the most recent incidents happened just over the Massachusetts border before the suspects went into Suffield and then finished in Windsor Locks. If you see suspicious activity, don't confront anybody. The safest thing to do in a situation like this is call police.
Now at 10, a consumer alert from police in Middletown, where officers are receiving more reports of what's called check washing. Well, that's when criminals steal checks in the mail, change the information written on them, and then fraudulently cash those checks. Now, several other cities and towns across Connecticut have also warned about check washing cases in recent months. Middletown police say you should only mail checks at a post office and try to pay bills online if you can.